Hey everyone, I'm Erin and welcome to the Cardboard Republic. This is going to be a video that we haven't done in a while. This is a 3 on a theme. So it's where we pick one theme. It can be anything. It can be a particular board game mechanism. It can be a particular board game theme. It can be anything that we want. And we find 3 games that we think do a really great job of exploring whatever it is that thing means. For this particular episode, we decided to do color. So we are going to show you 3 games that, 3 games that I think do color really well. I'm sure that you have your own, and that's fine. You can leave them in the comments down below. I know Ryan and I kind of struggled to come up with this list. There are so many games that have color as some sort of component or some sort of part of the overall structure, whether that's player color, of course, or something like color grouping things together and telling you what actions you can take, or anything. Color is everywhere in games. We decided that in order to narrow down our list from like every game in the world to something that we could manage for a 3 on a theme, we would look at games that specifically dealt with different facets of color as a mechanic in the game. Something where color was so integral to the way the game works that if you were to change the colors around or substitute in a symbol for each color, you wouldn't have the same game. So that's where we're starting. Let's look at our picks. First up is Sagrada. This shouldn't be a huge shock because the colors in Sagrada are phenomenal. The game boards have this wonderful glossy finish, and the whole idea of building this beautiful, colorful window of stained glass means that the glossy finish and all of the colors work together to create this kind of stained glass look. You feel like you have something precious and expensive. And if these colors were substituted for symbols, like in a paint by numbers kind of thing, or really for any other spectrum of colors, so if you decided that instead of stained glass colors, you wanted to do pastels or monochromatic or whatever, it just wouldn't be the same. The colors in Sagrada are absolutely necessary for the game. So let me tell you a little bit about the game overall. Sagrada is a dice placement game where, like I said before, you're building this beautiful stained glass window. You do that by trying to get dice of the right color in the right spots on your player board. You're trying to make patterns according to whatever your player board is, but you're also just trying to make sure you fill up all your space. So the game isn't too complicated, and it's really pretty. And like I said, it's incredibly colorful. It's like eye-popping, totally attention-grabbing colorful. When you play this at a convention, people stop to look because it's so beautiful. This was actually the first game I thought of when we were thinking of games that involve color, because look at it. It's just, everything is so wonderfully saturated and beautiful that you couldn't have this game in any other way. Next up is Fresco. This is the big box edition, but really any edition is fine. In Fresco, you're playing as one of the great artists of the Renaissance. You are charged with putting together this awesome fresco, of course. And in order to do that, you need to collect paint and supplies of different colors. It's not uncommon for a game to have you collecting supplies that are different colors. In fact, that's like pretty much every game. But not many games have you actually collecting the colors, if that makes sense. You're collecting wool that happens to be white or stone that happens to be gray. But in Fresco, you're collecting red because you need red paint. And I just think that that's kind of cool that you are breaking it down into the base components like that. And Fresco itself is just a lot of fun to play. It does this whole idea really well. We sort of made a mistake when we first got the big box edition in trying to play like way too many of the expansions all at once. So don't do that. That was miserable. But if you play the base game or the base game plus a couple different things, it is wonderful. It's a lot of fun, and you can't do it without the colors. Stroupe is our last game, and this is a little bit different from the others. In Stroupe, you're not just collecting colors or putting colors on a board. You're playing with the way your brain perceives colors. The Stroupe effect in neuroscience and psychology is the idea that when you see a word, so say you see the word red, but it's printed in blue font, your brain has so much trouble reading that as red. It wants to read it as blue. Stroupe, the game, plays with this. It presents you with cards that describe a whole bunch of different types of things. Uppercase and lowercase, hollow letters and full letters, letters of all different colors. Actually, I think just like red and blue and green and yellow and black, but still a bunch of different colors. And you have to figure out, what does that word say? And play a card that matches whatever that word says, not how that word is presenting. So the details of it aren't really super important. It's relatively simple once you get going, but it's a total brain burner of a game. What is important is that this makes you so hyper aware of the colors in the game that you can't focus on anything else. You begin to doubt your ability to even perceive those colors. So, I mean, we couldn't leave Stroupe off of this list just because of the way it twists your own understanding of what it is that you're seeing. We have a bonus though. I know it's 3 on a theme, and we do have those 3 games. Those are 3 games that we really recommend if you're interested in playing with the way you perceive color during a game. Aves. I'm gonna say Aves even though I don't quite know exactly how it's pronounced. This is an import game, so it can be a little tricky to get your hands on, but if you ever have a chance to play it at a convention, I would really recommend it. In this game, you are trying to make multicolored birds by feeding them berries of different colors to get their feathers to change into whatever color that berry said. The colors in this game are beautiful. The very minimalist design that it goes with makes every single thing pop. And it's just fun. It's simple. And again, you couldn't do it without having those bright, vibrant colors to pull from. So Aves, I'm not going to spend as much time on it, but it is really, really clever, really well done, and very simple. So this is our 3 on a theme for colorful games. Games with a lot of color, games that engage in color. I don't know how to word this because it's not really colorful games. Because aside from Sagrada, none of them are particularly more colorful than any other game. And it's not really games that necessarily have color as a mechanic, even though that's sort of what I said at the beginning. Because Aves sort of, okay. Games with color as a central idea for the game. I love these because for me, how a game looks on the table is really important. I know I'm not supposed to think that, don't judge a book by its cover, judge a game by its art, whatever, but I do because it's important to me. Because it makes the whole experience more enjoyable for me. So these are 3 games that I really, really like, that are eye-catching, and that let me play around with different colors. Are there any games that you like that do the same thing, that you really think are just particularly beautiful, or that play with color in an interesting way, or that manage to deal with color in new ways? So the games I'm thinking of maybe have ways of helping players with color blindness, something like that brings color into the design in very, very specific and thoughtful ways. Leave those down below. I would definitely love to see them or send them to us somewhere else. But anyway, hit subscribe and make sure you like this video, and we will be back again really soon. Bye!